Okay, so let's talk. So what we have discussed so far. So yesterday we introduced what is JavaScript. Why JavaScript? Correct. We told you about what are some of the reasons. Okay, why we have to go after JavaScript. That why it is used in. Uh, how is it got a name like JavaScript? One important thing, if you remember, I told you that there are a lot of browsers actually. It's not like a lot of browsers. It's like every browser. Huh? So they are actually using JavaScript in a way. They have JavaScript engine initially. Okay, when before Node or Node environment was created, JavaScript was executing only in browser. But today we can even execute JavaScript. If you remember, I told you with an environment called Node, just like JRE. So this environment is actually called Node.js. So today one of the assignment is you have to install this program called Node.js on your system. Okay. So looks like I have one actually. So that's why it is asking change, repair, remove. I'll cancel it. But you should all install Node.js on your local system, and you should be able to execute a program from the command line also. For example, now after giving this command, see, just like in browser, we have a console,
Sir,
correct?
sir, your screen is not visible, sir.
Okay. I think in the, okay, now you think you can see it? Hmm? Yeah. I tried to, now can you hear me? And see my screen also?
Yes, sir. Now it is good.
Okay, good. So just a second, I think I'll stop sharing once again. I'm going to share quickly. Just a minute. Yeah, all I was saying is yesterday we downloaded this file called Node.js installation. So in my system I tried. Okay, in my system I tried. It is already available, or basically I launched to install it, but then it says this program already exists. So this is that Node.js program. So if I say next, it says you already have a setup, that's why it is asking you either to remove, repair or change it. So which is not what I want to do. So I'll quit. But I am saying each of you should install Node.js if you don't have one already in your system. Is it clear? Now why this experiment? Very simple. We use this Node environment heavily in our future classes, specifically this framework which we are heading to learn. We understand, lot of the front-end projects, we work on this Node environment for development. We use heavily. Yeah. So that is the reason. For development, Node is used heavily, and you all should have this. So with the Node, I was just showing. Let's say I have a terminal or a command prompt, Windows command prompt. I can invoke Node's REPL, REPL. Okay, REPL stands for read, evaluate, print, loop. REPL. This is called Node's REPL. Yeah. So here you can execute the JavaScript code. Yeah, I can create an array. I can, let's say array is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. You see to what extent it has improved. The Node REPL, now you are seeing auto suggestion. Now if at all I'm asking you to write some programs, right? You don't have to go open Chrome, you don't have to open any of the online editor. You can practice right within your command prompt itself. That too with lot of suggestion. Yeah, so you are getting code suggestion. Interesting. Okay, so you can write the code and then yeah, basically practice. And we need it, as I'm saying.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, all of you install this program. Okay, now why I was talking about Node and all, I was just telling you, yesterday we learned that JavaScript is mainly targeted for browser. It was only available in the browser. There was no other means of installation or executing JavaScript. And today we have what is called as Node. Yeah. Uh, one of the engine, okay, one of the JavaScript engine is called V8. There are so many engines. Yeah, each company will use a set of JavaScript engines. Yesterday we saw some high level components of a browser. In that we have found like there is an engine. There was a rendering engine. There was a JavaScript engine. Yeah, so the engine is nothing but basically a program, right? Which is there specifically to do some part of it. They've also given what exactly engine, how does engine work. Engines are complicated. Yeah, that engine is going to read the script, converts the script to machine code, and then machine code runs pretty fast. And engine does some optimization and all that. It even watches compiled script as it runs, analyzes the data that flows through it, and further optimizes the machine code based on that knowledge. This is to tell you what is an engine. Okay, so today let's get away from this theoretical part. Let's understand a bit more practical. So in the practical part of it, so let's say I want to start with JavaScript. I just told you I can try executing right within the terminal itself using a program called Node.js. Now what are the other means if I have to run some JavaScript? Tell me. I know one option is there online. Tell me what other options we have. Tell me something related to HTML and CSS. How with HTML I can run JavaScript?
By using script tag.
Yeah. So we have learned HTML. So HTML has a tag called script. So using script, we can embed a lot of scripts into it. Now, one of the option is to load JavaScript. We can add JavaScript to it. We have created a lot of files. Now, how do I create a JavaScript under this folder? Yeah, new file. We can say index.js, or we can say script.js. Yeah, we can name whatever name we want, but the extension should be .js. JS stands for JavaScript. So in short, people call it as JS. They don't call JavaScript. Okay. So now, let's say I'm writing some hello world here. So my question is, how do I execute this? Yeah. My question is, how do I print this? How do I run this JavaScript? Yes, you heard the answer. The simple answer is I have to include this JavaScript right within the HTML. Yesterday, I think even we discussed HTML gets executed, or HTML JavaScript will be executed within the browser. Yeah, when you include it part of HTML, isn't it? So the tag is called script tag. That's what I can use. Now tell me, what is a place to put that JavaScript? I have so many tags here. Shall I put in top here? So let's say script src
No, sir. Within editor.
within the head tag.
Within. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying, can I put here? Answer is, can I put this tag here? I mean, can I put this script? Answer is yes. I can place it. Can I put within the body same script? Answer is yes. Can I put at the end of the body here or just before we close the body? Can I put here? It is very important to understand what is the right place. Yeah, whatever options we just saw, we can include in head, we can include in the body anywhere. One of the option is on the top. Also, it is possible to include, yeah, at the end. Now my question is, which is the best option? Why? Just a second. Think and tell me. Anybody has an answer? Those who already studied JavaScript, those who know JavaScript, or can have a random guess also. Yeah. So any guesses? Which is the right place? Do you guys hear me? Well, now if you confirm.
Sorry, your voice breaking.
Am I breaking too much? Okay, just a second. I think I'm going to come out. How about now? Is it better?
Okay. Better. Okay, sir.
Oh, okay. I think I had problem. I think I was speaking in two devices, I believe. I thought it is going to have here. So no worries. Yeah. So I was asking a question of what is the right place to execute JavaScript. Should I put in the head? Should I put in the body? Should I put before the end of the body? One thing we have to understand, yeah, first of all, how do I execute? So I'm saying the point, first question becomes, okay, how do I execute? Yeah, the answer is, easy answer is yes, we have to use script tag. Easy answer is what? Yes, I have to use script tag. Okay, I think you lost me a bit. Yeah, I was having a question. What is the best option to execute JavaScript? Or where should I place JavaScript within my HTML file? Anybody found the answer? So the answer that we mostly recommend is putting right before the body tag closes. Where is it? Putting JavaScript file right before the body tag close. That is a recommended place. So anybody has a question, like why that's a place, why not above? Let me show you first thing. Yeah, let me try to show you whether it is going to work or not work. Okay, so I have one occurrence here. I'm going to remove it from here. For now, that's okay. Yeah. What else? I'm also going to add. Yeah, let me first add within the head, just to show you it is going to work or not. Yeah. So how do I run this HTML? There's an option called Go Live. If I click on Go Live, then so one, the web server will start. Basically, an HTTP server or a web server will start. And do you see script is executed? Because I'm able to see one line here. And this is from script.js. If I click on it, it will show me from which line that message got printed. So we are seeing now adding JavaScript to the top has no problem. It is completely executing it. Correct? Executing. When it is executing? Immediately. Correct? What about if I put before the body? Will it work? Let's see. It has worked. Yeah, it has worked. As you can see, I can even reload here. It has worked. Same line, same file. Now will it work before the body classes? Answer is there also yes. But then I am pointing out the best place to place JavaScript is just before the body. Again, there are reasons actually. I think I'll tell you this as a homework. If you are not getting an answer, I think I'll discuss with you why it is so. Yeah, I think maybe it's also too early. It is somewhat related to the DOM manipulation, creating the elements dynamically. Yesterday, if you remember, I showed you what is the purpose of JavaScript, how we generally use JavaScript within HTML. Okay, all right. Now let's move on to another interesting topic. But this answer you should find out. You should check it. Why it is so and all that. Now assume I have so many files in JavaScript. Yeah, what is it? I have so many files in JavaScript. Can I include all the scripts? If so, how? Can can I include multiple files of JavaScript in HTML? Simple question. Anybody has tried it already?
Yes, yes, sir. We can include it by using multiple script tags.
By using multiple script tags, yes, we can embed lot of JavaScript. The answer is correct. But now tell me, so which one will execute first and which one will execute later if I have multiple JavaScripts? Yeah, obviously the default order is, so it goes sequentially. It will try to execute each of this. Same way, you will see the first script execute first and then the second script execute first. You want to see it? Yes, hello world from an existing file script.js, hello from index, which is the second file. So what is the meaning? They're executing one after the other. Now my question is does it matter to include them, in some order, or is it not required to be having certain order? I'm just asking you, should I put them in some order? What is the reason, or when you are going to put order? Does order matters basically when you are embedding too many script files? This you see, these are all things which are not related to the basic syntax. Many a time you only concentrate on syntax. You understand what I'm saying? Many a time we understand, but these are some concepts which you should be knowing. And yeah, again, yeah, these are some corner cases people will ask you.
Sir,
Go ahead. Yeah, that's a question.
Sir, can we embed this JavaScript file using link tags?
No, not possible.
Why, sir? Like CSS, can we?
Yeah, it is meant for CSS and some more type files like we have fonts, correct? We to include font files, we use link tag, but not script. So again, the name itself says it is script. If link only would have supported, then there was no need for having another tag like script, just to see. But if you ask me, why not possible? No, that's how they have designed.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah, and okay, with this, let's move on to some attributes which are there in the script tag. Do you know any tags? I mean, any attributes with the script tag which are part of script tag? Any of you have you tried?
Yes, sir. Yeah, type
Yeah,
attribute.
type attribute. Okay, any other attribute other than type? Okay, so we have got another set of important attribute. Okay, important attribute. Okay, they are called async and differ. What are the attributes? Async, differ. I guess there is another other. Okay, like that we have got few more attributes. So let me tell you, you know, these two, async and differ. Yeah, before that, yes, the script tag, okay, supports a type attribute, as you said. This type will support many different types of script. Yeah, I think it has a, the default type is JavaScript, text slash JavaScript. Through that, it will understand that you're executing JavaScript. Now it is made even optional that you don't need to mention this. By default, it is JavaScript only. And of course, it is going to understand from the extension, but through that, it will come to know that, I mean, by default, even if you don't specify the type, it means it is a JavaScript that you are adding. On top of that, we have got important attributes like async, and then another attribute called differ. But again, this I would say read and come. We will discuss more. Okay. So far what I have listed, list of topics to read and come. Okay. The first thing was placement of script tag itself. Second, does the order of script tag matters? Now what is the next thing I'm saying? Async versus, or what is async and differ attribute in JS? Three topics. Again, all of this we have an answer. Okay, we have an answer. We have an answer right within the book that we are all reading, which is a javascript.info. It has an example, yeah. So you're not sure where exactly that comes. I think differ script. If I just search, I think I'm going to get it. In which section they are mostly talked about it. Read it, yeah. You see, script, async and differ. So they'll have one topic itself. I think tomorrow you read and come, and then I'll explain you. That time it makes more sense for you guys. Oh, okay, this is what I understood. Okay, but it is also used in this way. And if you remember, the main highlight of yesterday's class was you all have to learn to read and understand yourself. Don't rely on somebody like me for reading each and everything. Okay, so This is something we should know as a JavaScript. Though in practice we write less script tags, but as a concept you should be knowing. That's why I'm just covering this. In usage wise, very less. All right. So we know how to include. We know how it's with HTML this JavaScript is going to work. So we have a topic called DOM. There we will see a lot of HTML manipulation and CSS manipulation. So we'll hold on to it. Why to hold on to it? So as a JavaScript language, as it has multiple things to learn actually. Yeah. What I mean multiple things to learn. So there are different aspects that one will have to learn when it comes to JavaScript learning. The first one is the language fundamentals itself, the core in terms of syntaxes. I meant to say syntax. It could be writing a simple function, variables, loops, conditional statements, branching statements, creating object, classes, right? This is one aspect. When you're learning JavaScript, you should be knowing this. The second thing you should learn is about what? Is about the JavaScript APIs itself. Two parts. First part is mostly syntax. It mostly concentrates on syntax. The second concept is APIs. In that, specifically, we try to understand, the APIs which are provided by browsers. Let's say now I am using JavaScript to do some web page, then for sure it is going to execute in browser, and only in browser these documents, events, interface, the ones which are listed here are going to be available, not in the terminal. In terminal, you know, none of these browser related things will work. Yeah. So we will have to learn some concepts of browser also, because now we are heading, or we're going to learn more related to browser, or we are going to use heavily with respect to browser, browser based application. We are not developing something, some command line output. We are not developing any tool or something. Do you agree? So now what are these two? I'm saying first thing is the JavaScript as a syntax that we have to learn in general, which is going to work across browser or Node.js. The other thing which is there part of JavaScript is about browser object model. Yeah, BOM. In that there is something called document object model, events, interfaces. And with these two, JavaScript is actually huge to learn in one go. And you may not need everything which is there in the browser. Yeah, also in the basic core concept, you don't need everything to start with. Okay, so let's move on. Now I told you there are two aspects. Yeah. So I think the first part would be mostly understanding the language fundamentals, syntaxes, knowing the data structures, arrays, objects, yeah, data types, conversion, statements, functions. So I'm sure since all of you have come with some programming background, this part is should be very easy, or at least you find it familiar. Yeah? Familiar that okay, this particular synt or this word I've heard. I don't have to tell you what is for. I don't have to tell you what is while loop or if else I have to tell you for all of you. All I have to show you is okay, how is the JavaScript syntax for the same. Do you all agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I don't have to tell you what is if else, how does if else work. I just have to show you, okay, this is how the syntax is there in JavaScript. Now, point for me is, again, another thing from me is, you all are, kind of matured enough to see the different syntaxes. Maybe we will discuss the syntax, but again, you have to practice. So there are examples. See, each chapter has some coding challenges also. You might have seen. Yeah, starting from here, they have tasks in the end of each and every chapter. Just to tell you. So in simple words, I am saying, okay, don't expect me that I will give you some examples. Through that, you will become more practiced during the class. That okay, you will be familiar with if else statement in JavaScript, for loop in JavaScript. Now for this, you will have to find a different ways to practice it. Of course, I'm sharing some code examples and all that. There, so there is only one answer. If you practice only, you will be able to remember the syntax. Simple. You'll have to practice. Okay, so before practice, just to cover up, what is a code editor we can use? What is editor you're seeing? What is editor which I am using here?
Yes.
VS Code. Do I really need VS Code? What kind of editor I have to use for working with JavaScript? Sorry,
Browser.
I'm asking editor. Editor is different, browser is different. All I'm asking is if I have to program, what kind of editors I have to use. What is a minimum editor which is required for JavaScript to work with?
Sir, in VS Code only, like,
Sir, I think multiple editors is there, but the most recommended one is this VS Code. Most of the developers using this.
Okay, I, I, I got your answer. What you said, Ajay and Kushal? Said
sir,
something.
actually, I installed Node.js, sir. I am running in VS Code, like JavaScript programs and all. I am running in VS Code only, sir. Like in terminal, I'm running, sir.
How are you running in terminal?
Like I installed Node.js.
Correct.
Uh,
So okay, fine.
command node.
Yeah, that's what you are using program and it. Yeah, you are
Sir,
using Node
what's
REPL. You are using Node. Correct.
sir? Your voice is breaking, sir.
Do you hear me? No. I am
Yes,
saying
sir.
you are using Node's REPL REPL program you are using, and that's why you are executing. My question was not that. My question is what is the minimum editor that we need for writing JavaScript? For writing JavaScript, for developing JavaScript. I'm not asking about execution.
Okay, sir. No idea, sir.
What is the minimum program you need for running a Java program? What is the minimum software that is required to run a Java program? Or sorry, to write a Java program. Write, not to run.
Notepad.
Notepad.
Browser.
Notepad is enough. Correct? In my system, Notepad is enough. Because all I need is I have to save it as dot Java file and then run the program. How I have to compile the Java program using Java C space file name dot Java, and then post that I have to execute the Java using Java and then the file name. Now similar fashion for JavaScript also. Okay, so we don't have a compilation step. If you remember yesterday I said, yeah. So the program which I need is, yeah, even a simple notepad is enough. Even a simple notepad is enough where we can create files with the .js extension. On top of that, yeah, so you can use any simple editor. And whatever we work with front end, usually simple editor. So there is one popular editor which is called VS Code. It's called Visual Studio Code. Okay, so it is popular editor. It does support lot of languages. Yeah, but it is one of the famous one which everybody will use. It is from Microsoft. It is free of cost, and it is a very common software. See, it is developed by Microsoft. And this is another addition to homework. I said install Node.js and explore. If at all you don't have already the, you know, your VS Code downloaded, I would highly suggest download VS Code and start working with that. What is the other one I told you? Install Node.js and run the program from the terminal. Okay, now this is about execution, not execution, sorry, the editing and all that. We use simply VS Code. So compilation and all will not be there because as and when we load that JavaScript onto the browser, it is going to get executed immediately. We saw some examples. Okay, yesterday I've showed you specification, if you remember. Okay, if you remember, I showed you the ECMAScript 262 specification, which is a live specification, which talks about, okay, what are the features which are there. It's most about the language grammar, language syntax. Now, what is a manual? I think, did they talk anything on the manual? Anybody would like to tell me what you understood from this? Yeah, 262 is a specification. Yes, manual. Yes, I was thinking about this only. So if at all we have to learn JavaScript, one of the recommended resource after the specification, I'm saying even people who are working in Google, okay, they will use MDN only for anything about JavaScript because this is that huge document and also very neatly documented. Again, it is done by group of developers only who are working on browser itself. Yeah. So like we found many things with respect to CSS in MDN. MDN is also meant for JavaScript. It has lot of sections. It has lot of concepts explained about JavaScript. As a learning option, I'm saying you can use MDN also for all syntaxes and APIs and all the stuff. Just for learning, in a bit short, I'm saying use this javascript.info. But if at all you want to learn more, then my point is if you want to understand to the next level, this is the manual. This is a reference, which is MDN. MDN is actually Mozilla Developer Network. So internally they are actually in the Mozilla team, they are working on these pages. Okay, I think we have got one more thing to discuss here, which is called compatibility table. I'm sure many of you have read this actually because it's very in the, and you told me, yeah, you read it actually. Can one of you explain me what is this compatibility table? is all about. Why is it, or what is the compatibility they are talking about? Anyone? Maybe a killer money, or whoever is also having an idea of what is compatibility table. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is compatibility table? This is right within the second chapter. And if you said, yeah, I've read. Now I'm asking you what you know about compatibility table. Why are we talking about compatibility table? The reason is very simple. Yesterday I showed you a list of browsers. I think you might remember this page also. Now this particular website will list all the features which are supported by a specific version of browser. For example, I will say, you know, there is a concept called flex in JavaScript. Assume, huh? Now what it is saying, it is started from, the support has started for this browser from the version 4 to 20. Again, some minor support. Again, they said you'll have to use some prefix called WebKit. Again, there is another browser which not even started till version 12, which is released, maybe some years ago. Now, if you remember yesterday, I told you JavaScript is all about specification, and browsers are the programs which are implementing as per that specification, so that when you write some code, it is going to execute as per the specification which is given. As per the specification given, the JavaScript has to run. Now, if JavaScript has to run, their JavaScript engine is supposed to be kept up to date to support these new features. So in the process of updating JavaScript engine to the latest, what happens is some browsers will lag behind. They will not do the update immediately. They might take some time. They may not have full bad developers available. That is when this compatibility comes into picture. Yeah, though a new feature, let's say XYZ feature is added in the specification, it takes time for each browser to start implementing that feature so that it is available. Okay, yeah, that is where this compatibility table comes into picture. Yeah, because I might be using some of the new feature which is not there in some of the browsers, but I don't know tomorrow where my user is going to use my application. So this is one of the very good compatibility table. It says, for example, there is some syntax called const. You see, there are 18 aspects of just the const. We only learned that there is a keyword called const. Yeah, 18 concepts related to the const. Now you can see that compatibility says specifically the browsers, most of the browsers have supported it. Let's say in fact all of them have supported it. Oh, just a second. Yes, I'm getting a call. Okay, so I was telling this is a thing. This is what is compatibility table looks like. Now why is it important for me? Again I repeat, this is important just to make sure that whatever feature I'm using should not be going to break actually. It might work fine in Chrome. What if Firefox is not supporting? What if Edge is not supporting? Do you understand what I'm saying? What if it is not working in Chrome, which is there in Android? Because there is nobody sitting on top of all of this browser who is working on it. Each company is working on their own browsers, and they will take their own time. Okay, so with that said, I think I'm going to stop here for today.